You are watching the number one podcast in the whole entire Utah community, and I'm one of your hosts, Wanzo.
And I'm your other host, John Paul Leek.
And you're watching
RAW Break.
How's every single one of you? Welcome to the family on YouTube, the family on Facebook. And, we're ready to talk about another episode of Friday Night Smackdown. An episode that, on paper was really, really good. We had, 2 championship matches. Well, Daniel Bryan, putting, his career on the line, kind of. We don't know what's going to happen quite yet on that. But we'll see, what happens on that with Roman Reigns. So, no, the last match, the last bout between the two. We're going to find out who won, who lost, all of that. So also, IC championship match. So, Paul, your thoughts on this show?
Yeah, I mean, overall, like you said, this show, we even said last week, we're looking forward to this episode of SmackDown. And I think with what you saw in the last 40 minutes, this was a good show. Unfortunately, we had to deal with an hour and 20 minutes before that, which, unfortunately wasn't that good. Some of the stuff is okay, maybe, leading into WrestleMania Backlash and everything, okay, legit, but especially right off from the opening segment, to me, it was just you had me up here and then
we started out really high and we kept going down, but also though we're gonna go old school next week. We're gonna go with SmackDown old school episode. They haven't done that in a while, so that's important. At least I like that vibe. It is legit to see them.
I'm actually speaking of things going downhill and me making a fart noise. I'm gonna shit on that for a little bit because they're like, oh, we're going old school for SmackDown. SmackDown old school is 1999.
Yeah,
it's 2000. The way that they sold this would be like old school Monday Night Raw, like in the late 80s, early 90s. That's that it gave me more that kind of vibe. SmackDown was never that old school WWF logo, everything. So I didn't really understand that. It should have been like the big fist and Eddie Guerrero, like that kind of legitness. That's old school SmackDown because that's when SmackDown,
Now we're gonna see what they do, but like you said, SmackDown is gonna kind of go in an old school way. So we'll see what they do. I mean, it's only it's the regular episode, but they have the vibe,
Maybe they'll probably bring out some kind of legend, like, oh, here's Hogan, or here's the APA, or here's Ted DiBiase's on NXT. So here's the Ted DiBiase,
with Cameron Grimes, the debut of Cameron Grimes. So family, thank you so very much for every single one that is watching. No, don't forget, please subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Let us know how you feel about the show. Comment, hey, it was great, it was bad. Hey, I love SmackDown, I hate it. So Pato is always saying hi. So Pato, ¿cómo estás? Gracias por watching. Gracias por vernos. So like Jean Paul, also remember. Don't forget to also support us on this video. Yesterday, we had a great, women's match on NXT UK. That show always knows how to deliver, and a lot of people were praising the title. So thank you for that. The final boss ends the streak, Paul. Eva Valkyrie, lost to the final boss, Meiko Satomura.
Yeah, I mean, this was a really good match. We said it should have been the main event, especially because the 6-man tag, we saw Gallus go over, which we think the heels symbiosis really they should have won. But this match between Valkyrie and Meiko Satomura was so good. Just like we said, no wasted motion. These women portray, I won't even say women's wrestling. I'll just say wrestling as a whole. They portray it so legit, and it was a great match. So anybody who, go watch our review, of course, but also, go watch this episode of NXT UK, especially this match, because it was, you can't miss.
Oh, yeah, it's an absolutely great episode. So please watch that great match, like these two girls that you said. And, more like we got to see Theo Man. We got to see a lot of the girls. Also, there's going to be a gauntlet match. So a lot of things happening on that show. Just check it out. And also tell me a little bit about this. This is when the show starts in a bad way. And it's nothing against Bianca Belair. It has nothing to do with the girl. Absolutely great in the ring. But in the promo war, especially as babyface, the girl is lacking a lot of talent. We are more used to see the NXT, heel in the Bianca Belair, you don't even go here, like the attitude, all of that, and it's not transpiring in a really good way when she's like babyface. So she opened up the show for SmackDown, and she was talking, welcome everybody to this show and all of that. And then we got to see the Dirty Dogs come out, the tag team champions, and we got to see the Street Profits, and then we got to see Bayley. So Jean Paul was happy, it's fine. We love Bayley, that's legit. And then she started laughing her ass off, and when she laughs her ass off, that means she's laughing a lot. She happens to have a lot in that area, but then Bianca goes at her, she starts attacking her, and then this turns out to be just a 6-man tag. the Dirty Dogs with Bailey against the Street Profits and Bianca Belair. So what do you think about this? Was that a strong opening? Because for me, again, it's like, so...
No, and it wasn't because, and also on this, in this segment, in this promo, they tried to sell it like this wasn't a match that was already announced because they're just like, oh, they come down and they start fighting and everything. And it's, oh, now we're in a, mixed tag match. But on Instagram and, social media beforehand, they were like, oh, big 6-man intergender tag match tonight, blah, blah, blah. It's so you're trying to like keep kayfabe on the one end and then not kayfabe on the other. So, no, I mean, and whether you kept kayfabe or not, I could care less about this match. It wasn't give me just if you want to do the Street Profits versus the Dirty Dogs for whatever reason, just give me that match. Yeah. Want to give me Bianca Belair and Bailey before the pay-per-view? Just give me that match. Don't mix them because I hate when you have the match going, whatever. Somebody's in advantage. Let's say like Bianca, which she was. Oh, then Bailey tags out. Then Bianca has to be like, so, and tag out to Montez Ford or Angelo Dawkins. I hate it. Just kills momentum. The matches never get going. They're always bad. And you knew this was set up that the baby faces were going to win. So when you already know what the outcome is, you can't get into it. At least I can't.
No, exactly. And also it's because they're going to do this at like WrestleMania Backlash. So you give me like two championship matches. It's going to be like the tag match and also the women's championship. So especially when you get this kind of winner, because the baby faces go over in this. Why do I have to care about this match at WrestleMania Backlash when I've just seen that like the baby faces win in an easy way? There's no even like climactic spots here. You just see Bailey trying to win. Bianca is like overpowering her. And then the Dirty Dogs look always like, weak. They don't look like really true champions. Yeah,
and it's okay, from the heavens, he does a legit frog splash, probably one of the best, height, I would say like prettiest looking frog splashes, best looking frog splashes we've seen, out of anybody, but okay, boom, he pins Bobby Roode. So then what does that mean? The champions are going to win? And that match isn't even announced for the pay-per-view. I don't believe so.
They're not, but they're going to do it.
Yeah, but it's like, I never understand this new mentality. It's been going like this for how long? So I don't know. Maybe I need to get with the program, but but if that's the case, screw the program. Because why is it that a team earns a title shot by pinning the champs in some way? It should be, I beat every other team in the division. I solidified myself as the best team in this division besides the champs. So I want a title shot. That's how it should be.
Everybody else, right? There's nobody else. Mm-hmm. What do I do to myself? I become the obvious choice.
Yeah, the problem is that they have no other tag teams. Who do they have? The Mysterios, and you have Alpha Academy, and that's it.
Three teams. From the three, you just gotta go and then do that. So that's what we had in the end, like you said. Pretty much, the one thing I like is like Bianca was trying to do some action on Bobby Roode, like she did like the whip on that. So I guess they're gonna cash in on that.
It makes Bianca look good, but it makes Bobby Roode look like an absolute loser.
Oh well, but
and to me, that's
Bobby's been a loser for years now.
And he needs to. I don't know. I mean, I'm nothing against Impact, but they're not doing good numbers. I don't know where this guy needs to go. Maybe back to NXT.
Yeah, go big.
Because I was gonna say like Impact. I don't know if they'll really use him too well or anything. But Bobby Roode, he deserves so much better.
Oh yeah, Bobby Roode is pretty good. But like in the end, like you said, From the Heavens is the big 5-star flog splash. I'm sorry. RBD did it like really, really good, but the Montez Ford is just a combination of Eddie and RBD really, really good. They win. So this is probably what we're going to see also in WrestleMania Backlash. So remember this picture because I'm going to use the exactly same one. So don't get upset.
Except they'll all be all three of them will be holding belts. So,
yes, exactly. So that's what we have. So that's what the opening on the show. Then we go forward to like Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan also is saying, hey, this is going to be the best match, or like my biggest opportunity in my career. I need to win this WWE Universal Championship. And he says, well, Roman he doesn't like to defend, he doesn't like to fight, but I'm a fighting champion and all of that. So he mentions like, if I win or when I win, then I'm gonna go and give the opportunity to somebody that is we've been waiting for this opportunity for far too long, and that's Antonio, the boy. Antonio Cesaro. So that's a good promo from Bryan. You hear like the intensity. He's ready to have a match. So let's see like who else. Steven Butler's here, our friend. Hey Steven, how you doing? WWE fired talents in the past years that will make great challengers to singles and tag teams. So we get rematch mania on TV too. That's true. That's true. So, that's what we have. And then we got Seth Rollins, Paul. What do you think about Seth Rollins? Just mentioned Roman Reigns and all of that. Like, oh, like we have our past together and all of that. And then he goes, well, Cesaro is not going to get that opportunity because next week I challenge you to another match. So see Seth Rollins like prolonging the feud here.
Oh yeah, this is good. And Rollins keeps his, I guess I would say he's main event because he's mixed in with Cesaro. And I also like this because you could easily see Rollins being like a weasel. Let's say, they really drag out this feud with Cesaro. Maybe Rollins even goes over at Backlash and you just kind of keep Cesaro hot, but not, super hot. I always say keep him on the back burner. And then you put, maybe you get Rollins versus Roman Reigns next. And then Rollins can kind of sneak in there because he even said, oh, Roman and I have the history and all this stuff. And it would be interesting to see them have a match, with both of these guys being heel, and obviously Roman will probably retain. I don't see Rollins winning the title from, him anytime soon or, him being a world champ anytime soon. But, this I think would maybe be something good to kind of, prolong the Cesaro feud till SummerSlam to a big pay-per-view, culmination, give him the belt there.
Oh yeah, no, it's good. It's good. And I like that because like you said, it's just like he's still in the main event status, but at the same time, he's not even mentioning Roman. I mean, maybe he said, oh yeah, Roman Reigns got a pass together. But that's not like they're not touching each other. Like they're not intertwining. Like you said, those stories are like keeping them. It's like I give you your distance. I know that you're there, but I'm not going to say or mention.
Yeah, and that's what I really like about this. Everything with Cesaro was it all feels pretty organic. Like he was on TV, like he was a heel as a team with Nakamura. They split, whatever. Then both guys kind of became baby faces. Cesaro was getting some wins. Commentary was saying for the longest time, this guy, everybody's been saying pound for pound, he's the best. He's so legit. He's so, just great in the ring. And you saw him get some wins. Then you saw him, it wasn't just like Jinder Mahal. Oh, I win a battle royal. Oh, I'm WWE champ.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean? It was very, the way that they're building
organic. Organic. Yes, step by step. You believe that this guy is going to get to that championship opportunity or that championship belt because like he's been working for it for the longest time. Yes. Thank you, Chrissy, for watching also. Thank you. Say hi, everything. Thank you for supporting us. Love you, girl. And also, like we got to see now to like Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. This team is being losing so many singles matches, like every single time, distraction. Reginald there, he's not even playing a factor anymore. The fact that he had the COVID and everything, he took like 3 weeks to like get better. He's not doing anything for me anymore. So like Shayna is saying, hey, it doesn't matter that we've lost these matches in the past weeks. You got to see with Jean Paul in the Raw review, all of that. He said we're still the main team and we're still dominant. So you see that, and I don't know how you felt about this, but like this bothered me because then Natalya and Tamina start attacking them, but then they have the match and. Shouldn't we have seen this backlash? I mean, why do we give this on free TV?
Well, what did we just say about the opening match? When you have a tag team, they beat the champs. Oh, that means you earn a title opportunity at the pay-per-view. And that's, exactly what this was. Now, I'm all a fan of seeing Natalya and Tamina presented legit because I wanted to see them win the belts at WrestleMania like a lot of us did. We didn't get that. So instead, you should have kind of had them again, beat all the other teams in the women's division. Maybe they show up on Monday Night Raw and beat a team there, and they're like, we don't care. We will chase the tag champs on any show. We don't care because we feel that we deserve those belts. We should be the champs. We want another shot. And, okay, legit. But instead, we just get this match again. And, who do we see lose again or eat the pin? Shayna Baszler, the legit wrestler in this. Not Nia Jax, not the one who's just, a goof who bangs Reginald and who wants Angel Garza, or Angel Garza wants to bang her. It's just, oh, yeah, Nia Jax, ha, ha, ha. Yes. Like she's, it's Shayna Baszler who is the legit one. It's the same thing with Bobby Roode. Somebody who's so legit, but then they're the ones who are always eating the pin.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, the match quality was okay. We're not going to say it was, but like you said, Tamina pins Shayna, and that's worse because Shayna is like the main girl in the team and is annoying. But at least this is the first time that you ever seen Tamina in this kind of light, right? Because every time that she has an opportunity, she got injured. So let's hear from like our friend Steven. This tag team, yet another rematch mania, was sloppy, but I will praise Tamina for executing a better Superfly splash than she's done in the past few weeks. Yeah. So
like we said, I think Natalya is really up in her game. Natalya is a great wrestler, and I think she's helping Tamina along. But why wasn't this Nia Jax or have Natalya be the one? Now they're doing it to really get Tamina over. That's the whole point of this because Natty looks good, but Tamina's the one who comes in, boom, 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 big move, and she's the one who gets the pin. But it would have been cool to maybe see Natalya get the pin on Shayna Baszler or something like that, just because they're both more technical. She could have put the sharpshooter on her or something. I'm not saying I want to see Shayna tap, but something more just like, just the super, what is it? The
super fly splash.
Yeah, super fly splash and done.
Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with Steven, but like the main thing is, like you said, Natalya is really up in the game of the girl. Maybe to do the moves this way, watch yourself what you do, because then you're gonna prolong your career. Don't get injured. This is your main opportunity.
Watch me and my sister on YouTube,
Jenny, all of that. Don't be doing that, because it's my channel with my sister, don't gonna copy all of that. But at least we're gonna have that rematch mania, like we said, like Jean Paul calls it backlash, because it should be backlash. It should not be WrestleMania backlash. It's backlash. It's always been backlash. So we're gonna see that, and hopefully they win the title. If they don't win those titles, you're gonna go what, Jean Paul? Piper Niven's goal. Piper Niven's route.
Well, not even just that. Every tag team that we said kind of built up legit, that should have had a shot. They do against the champs and they lose. Yes. The Riot Squad's done. There's no other tag team. This is the only one, to me, that's and it's also believable, because Nia Jax is such a big, imposing, threat, in their eyes. And it's like Tamina's the same thing. Yeah. And then you have, the technical wrestlers, Natalya and Shayna. So it's a really evenly matched team. So this would be the perfect one to do the switch.
Yes, exactly. So, thank you for everybody that is watching, commenting. Please subscribe, help us out, keep growing. Let us feel the love. Also, let us know what you guys really feel about the show. Be like Steven. He lets us know. We always like to the discussion. We love it. So now let's switch gears. Let's stop talking about wrestling. Let's go and talk about music. Milli Vanilli is with us. I'm sorry, it's Booker T. It's Booker T. Yeah, it's not the girl it's true. No, it's not that. Throughout the whole show, they have all the wrestlers asking who's going to win in between Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. They gave that big match feel, whenever.
Oh, yeah, which I do like. I do like when they do that. Ask all the wrestlers and stuff. I mean, like you said, it would be maybe nice if they asked Booker T and not Milli Vanilli, but, I guess we got to get what we get.
Exactly. So we get that. So, we got Booker. I think he was supporting my Roman Reigns, the big tribal chief and all of that. Yeah, he's going to win. All of that. We had Nakamura. I guess he hit his shoulder, because you can see it's I don't know what happened with him, but of course he picked Daniel Bryan because it's Cesaro and all of that. So probably I think he fell before this promo.
That's just Nakamura.
Nakamura. He's ugly. Okay, I'm sorry, Naka, but it is what it is. So let's talk about the Mysterios, Paul. The Mysterios have a promo, and Ray saying, hey, I want to be the first one to be a tag champion with my kid. We want to make history like that. I mean, it's cool, but do it. Because it's
exactly.
You're gonna go with Street Profits. This right here is the easiest way to book it, and then that way you can just have that big moment that should have happened at WrestleMania.
Yeah, which again, we said, why is it the Street? It's always the Street Profits. I don't know why they're doing it. They're really trying to get, Bianca Belair and be like, oh, she's the best thing ever. Oh my God, she's, the best women's wrestler in the history of the universe. Screw Mako, screw all the, Charlotte Flair. None of them exist. It's Bianca Belair. Oh yeah, her husband. Because they always say, oh yeah, Montez Ford, her husband. So they're really trying to be like, oh yeah, look at them all with the belts. But what did they say, last week? Oh, it's get back season. So get to the back of the line. They lost. This should be the Mysterios. They should be the one at WrestleMania Backlash. I don't care if it's, rematch mania. You still should have at least one matchup that's fresh. Have it be, the Mysterios, have them win it. Because let's say the Street Profits do win. You're going to do babyface versus babyface and the Mysterios are going to beat them? No. I mean, if you turn the Street Profits and Bianca heel, that would be cool, but that would be so, out of left field. It wouldn't make any sense because they're not on the heel path. So
yes, exactly. So I agree with you. So they should have done it at WrestleMania, and that's why they always lose these opportunities when it's on an organic moment. They always lose. They don't. And also,
how many weeks can you keep spitting this narrative of if I would win it with my dad, it would be so legit. To me, if you say that every single week for the next 8 weeks, I don't care anymore.
They freaking go win it, freaking challenge them. Yeah. But that's why, okay. That's why at least we get to see, yeah, they're good. Yeah, we want to do it. Okay. Now go do it, Now tell me a little bit about this, Jean Paul. We get to see this promos with Aleister Black. And now in this time, the kid is not a kid anymore. He's kind of he's in high school, he keeps growing. So he keeps telling you this narrative about the Dark Father and all of that. He says that the tales from the Dark Father. I think that's what it is, the line that he uses. And he goes, I could give you the keys of to liberate, to free everybody, but I wouldn't do that. So Aleister Black to me heel, right? I would say is heel now. Like the promos are a little darker. So I'm liking this. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is good, and it's, I like how they're this is better than just hiding in a closet saying somebody come pick a fight with me.
Oh yeah,
This
better.
this is good, establishing just this, like I said, nobody's going to be the Undertaker, but to have those demonic, possessed kind of like vibes, like similar feel, gothic, all that stuff. This is the closest we're going to get to it. And I think they're doing a good job. At least they're presenting it legit. It's not like when it's over, they're like, oh, what was that about? Like poking fun. That they treat it really legit. Like, oh man, this is like serious. So, I'm good with that. But 2 more weeks, I'll deal with 2 more of these, and then we got to see him in the ring. If they, if it's 3-4 weeks, we still haven't seen him wrestle. Obviously, we've seen him wrestle before, but as this new kind of spin on his character, 2 more weeks, he needs to be in the ring at at the longest.
It needs to be, because he needs to just go and start beating people. He needs a feud right away. We need to see Aleister Black in the ring fighting. That's when he's the best. Not the greatest promo in the world. At least this narrative is convincing enough. Cashing into his dark character.
To me, I think Aleister Black would be good if you just let him cut his own promo. Yeah. At least I think, I don't think his promo work is, the worst. It's better than a lot of people we see, but everything's so scripted. So.
Yeah, and also, like you said, he's never been given the freedom to be himself. He's always been, you got to be this with Ricochet, then you got to be this with the Closet and all of that. So, yeah, he needs a chance to just be himself.
Exactly.
No, like a chance like this guy, but we don't like it because the guy actually, like, when he gets himself, I think that, like, it was way too late when they try to cash in on himself. And this is Big E. He says that he's going to get his baby back, the IC Championship. So he goes out to the ring. What did you think about this match? To me, still no chemistry, still not the greatest thing ever. Like, the feud is weak just because, again, the chemistry is not there. The promo work is convincing enough. But when they go in the ring, you don't see, like, good spots between the two of them. You don't see, like, a good dance between Apollo and Big E. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, they have the intensity, definitely. But, you have, Baba Ganoush out there. So you're just kind of waiting for him to get involved, all this stuff. It's just the matches with them, I don't feel like Apollo is really, I would say Apollo is better than Big E. He's more athletic. I'd say he's more talented. But none of these guys are leaders. If you put one of these guys in there with a Daniel Bryan, the match will be amazing. Yeah. You put one of them in with a Cesaro, somebody like that, somebody who can lead. None of these two can lead. That's the problem. So you have 2 guys in there who are really good, but it's like, what should we do? Like nobody really has that confidence, I feel, to call a good match. So that's why it kind of suffers. And that's why I think you see some kind of issues. I would say the same thing like Rich Swann and Kenny Omega, that match, lots of botches. You're like, oh, what are they doing? What's going on here? It's like nobody really can lead. So that's kind of the issue here. But, I was fine with the ending because I was actually thinking Big E was going to win. I'm like, oh, here we go. It's going to go back to him, flip-flop with the title. But no, you're really, I don't know. I would have really liked to see a clean win from Apollo.
Yeah.
But instead we see, what is, we was just
Aces.
called Baba. Yeah, Aces. Yeah.
Aces.
He comes in.
Aces, a.k.a. Baba Ganoush, Davakudo. There you go.
Yeah, Aces, he grabs him, it ends in a DQ, and it's just like, okay, whatever. Again, you're prolonging this, for the pay-per-view? But that would be maybe the 5th time we saw these guys wrestle.
Yes.
Since Big E became IC champ, like enough is enough. The matches aren't good. This isn't Almas and Rey Mysterio here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, at least those matches were good when we saw them how many weeks in a row. But these aren't very good. And then especially here at the end, we see Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, all this stuff. If you're gonna do anything, do a fatal 4-way because Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, their feud ain't over. Apollo Crews, Big E, their feud ain't over. Put them all in one match. They're all in the mid card. They're all, making claims to the IC belt and whatnot. So put them in a fatal 4-way.
Yes, exactly. So that's what they should do. And in the end, we got to see Sami Zayn, also the Liberator. He should be added into that fatal 4-way. Like, with Aces, and then he grabbed the Intercontinental belt, and he's like, this seems familiar to me. He didn't want to let go and all of that. And he's like, well, so this is your title. It's all good. But of course, so Aces and Apollo took care of Sami Zayn. What a waste. Every single week, this is the last thing we see from Sami Zayn. Every single week. It hurts me because the guy is really talented, but unfortunately he gets paid to just look like a buffoon. right?
Yeah. I mean, I mean, hey, somebody has to lose, I guess, right? But I would do, like I said, do that fatal 4-way. Maybe you put the title on Kevin Owens for a little bit, and then you can kind of build him up. Okay, badass, and then you have Aleister Black come in, heel versus Kevin Owens, babyface. Aleister Black could take the title from him. Boom,
Yes.
there's his first singles title. Do something like that. Unless maybe you're gonna build him up slow. And then he can go against maybe a Cesaro, when Cesaro's champ or something. I don't know, but they really need to start thinking about feuds for these guys. Otherwise, half your roster is going to look like Sami Zayn. Just wasted potential.
It is. And, like Steven is saying about Aleister Black, when Black returns to the ring, he needs to change his entrance and also his ring gear. Do a complete makeover. Do you agree with that? I think, yeah. He could,
I mean, what was his ring gear before? Just like black trunks and the boots, maybe wrist tape or
and
something.
The tattoos that pretty much cover the whole thing.
I mean, he did have like the vest. He wore like the black vest with the spikes and stuff on it. I don't want to see him come out in like a suit or anything because we see that with a lot of guys. But I mean, definitely, change it up. Don't do the arms crossed, right, like the Dracula entrance. Raising from the coffin and all that. Change it up a little bit. But he still is going to keep those like gothy, kind of like evil vibes. But I agree. Change it up a little bit because this is a rebranding of the guy. It's not just like, oh yeah, here's Aleister Black again. They're trying to redo the character. So I agree.
And going back to just this, like you said, these two are like the kings of the mid card. Of course, Apollo is at least solidifying himself, so it's okay. He has finally aces. So you can't just give in with like this guy right away. You need to just give him like a run. Like you said, maybe Kevin Owens, maybe do that feud a little more. They have better chemistry. That's what they should do. So let's talk about Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's kind of promo, of course, talking about the championship match. And he was just like mentioning how important, like he's tired of hearing the Daniel Bryan all over and over again about all the success that he has, everything that he's accomplished, that he's one of the best wrestlers, a future Hall of Famer, and he has all confidence in himself. Yes. He graduates from NXT. He gives the whole story about Daniel Bryan. But then I like when he goes all the yes things. And then he's like, is he going to be Roman Reigns? No.
Oh, yeah. That was good. I love it. Just, did he come back from an injury? Was it the greatest, comeback ever? Blah, blah, blah. Is he the leader of the yes movement? All this stuff. Like you said, he's rambling through it all. Yes. And then the ending, he's like, no. This was Paul Heyman is such a good promo. And I love at the beginning when he just like yells at Kayla. Like, I forget what he even said to her. But, Heyman's so good. And this was a great promo. Again, everything they did throughout this show to hype the main event, to me, was good. It was just, the matches we saw until we got there were the...
it was a little like weak. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we get to see from our boy Cesaro. First of all, he accepts the challenge from, Seth Rollins. He says, next week we will do it. It's fine. I'll do the UFO one more time. Did you hear that report, Paul? He doesn't like to do the UFO. Why? Because the name is UFO. So you don't see UFOs all the time. Maybe he's going to save it for special occasions. That's good for Cesaro. And he also says, my friend Daniel Bryan is going to win tonight. He's going to be the new Universal Champion. And in WrestleMania Backlash, we're going to face each other for the title. So you see a pretty confident Antonio Cesaro.
Yeah, and also, when he said about the UFO, I mean, one, he's like trying to be funny. And two, what do we say all the time? Not wrestlers, not, everything in wrestling. If you always do it or you always see it, it doesn't have the same impact. It becomes overexposed. If he did the UFO every week, people would be like, oh, okay, he's just going to put the guy on his shoulder, spin around. Okay, whatever.
Rooney, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But when he does it, every now and again, like, or if we don't see it until, maybe a championship match with Roman Reigns, oh my God, the UFO, like, look what he's doing to the Universal Champ. Then it feels special. If he does it to a jobber and he does it to everybody he sees, if he does it to me and you, he does it to Steven, he does it to everybody, then it don't feel special.
Oh yeah, no, it's like Canadian Destroyer. Can we mention that? Every
super kick. To me, a super kick is like a jab. It's like a punch.
It's like a basic move, exactly. Yeah. Like we went from the days of Shawn Michaels when he will be the only one that did a super kick. Now it's a basic move. You don't need to even have a signature to do a super kick. Everybody does it. You kicked out like in one. So exactly, you're right on that. So now let's go to the main event. That's how quick we got here. When we go, like when we all just mentioned stuff, it was easy to just go through the end of the show. He debuted finally new music, and you loved it. A lot of people were like, finally, not the Rock has come back. No, none of that. Yeah, the days of that are gone. And now he finally more like, I don't know if you thought this, but like similar to Bailey. Like a little bit of at the beginning.
Oh, it definitely had like, he's the tribal chief, the head of the table, all this stuff. It definitely like almost made him feel like a god. You know, it was like this choir, like, oh, I don't want to say like angelic, but it kind of had that vibe. Like, you know, they were singing to
Yes.
him, like
Yes.
worshiping him, you know,
Yes.
so that it gave me that vibe. And that was cool. I love how they debuted it for a big championship match like this,
Yes.
not just, you know, oh, he comes out to interrupt somebody's promo and, oh, yeah, new music. No,
Yes.
you know, because we've been hearing the reports, new music for the longest time. You know, this was a great time to debut it. Maybe WrestleMania would have been a little bit better, but you know,
Yeah.
this was the second best choice. So this was good. And like you said, you know, we got here quick because it was about 9:20, 9:21. You know, the entrances start happening. So they gave 40 minutes really to this main event, which I
Yes,
think it was
exactly.
well deserved.
Oh yeah, you know, and when Daniel Bryan comes out, of course, the yes movement, everybody just like really excited. And like you said, WWE has like the ability to manipulate also the chants and all of that. So it's not really that organic when you hear all those yeses. It's pretty much like a machine doing it for them, just replicating that. So don't believe that like everybody's just saying yes. No, I know it's Z. No, none of that. Just like it's
Well,
a little.
I will say when I was watching, this was a while ago. I believe it was the match that Roman Reigns had with Kevin Owens in a steel cage for the title. I was watching on one of the, you know, websites, let's say, and there was I don't know what the stream was, but you could hear some guy talking to everybody in the Thunderdome. So I guess when you're in the Thunderdome, maybe if anybody in the comment section was there, they can confirm this. But, you know, he's like, oh, here comes Daniel Bryan, you know, like big yes chants. Like the guy is like speaking to you to
He's
tell
like,
you
yeah,
what to
he's like,
chant.
directing.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, when you do see the people in the screens going like this, some of them are doing it because they want to, but other ones are doing it because there's some voice from, you know, wherever telling
From
them
the
to do it.
heavens, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So, but what do you think about the match? You know, really, really good. Daniel Bryan from the beginning start dominating. He's attacked like the right arm and the right
right
hand of
arm.
Roman.
Yep.
You know, when he has the Thanos, like the thingy, and of course like Marvel, Disney Plus, all of that. Let's see what our friend Steven says. Really like this match. Bryan working over a body part. There, we just mentioned that. Are we good or not? We're on the same page here. You know, Roman Reigns selling the arm through the match. Good psychology. The finish with Roman using his good arm to choke Daniel Bryan out made sense. I want to see more storytelling like this in my main events. There you go, Paul. Now you elaborate. Give us your analysis, Paul.
Yeah, this, you know, Steven pretty much said exactly, because that's what I said earlier with Big E and Apollo. Nobody knows how to like lead a match. Daniel Bryan does. Probably like, okay, Roman, I'm going to work over the arm the entire match. That's what we're going to do. And that's what he did, you know, with whether it be, you know, the yes lock or the label lock, whatever you want to call it, you know, working over the arms and just, you know, everything on the outside. Roman Reigns, you know, he does a big suplex to the outside. Then he goes to spear Daniel Bryan and, you know, he hits into the barricade. Oh, you know, he was leading with that right side, the right arm hit. Yeah, there you have the picture, you know, all this stuff. He goes for the Superman punch. I forget what Bryan did. I think he did a super kick or he did some kind of kick, you know, and he hit Roman's. Yeah, and he hit Roman's arm. Again, you know, all this damage to the arm. That was the big story. Diving headbutt onto the same arm. So, you know, Daniel Bryan, he's not just attacking him all over to just, you know, oh, hit my finisher and win. No, he was working over a body part and it made sense, you know, but like you have here in this picture, he hits the running knee and you think, oh, this is it, you know, and Michael Cole, you know, as bad as he is, when he gets like really amped up and excited, sometimes he can sell you on it because he was, you know, pretty good in this match. I thought he wasn't botching or anything like he normally does, but
the Blue Thunderbomb.
Yeah, exactly. You know, or like, oh, Sasha kicked out. So no,
So,
she didn't. No, but
yeah.
I mean, this was, you know, at this spot here, you're like, Daniel Bryan's probably not going to win. But like you said, you know, Roman, he had him in the, you know, in the guillotine with the, he had him in the guillotine with the bad arm. And then, you know, Daniel Bryan gets out and everything. And then like, you know, he used the left arm instead. And they're like, oh, he used his, you know, the non-injured arm, you know, the stronger arm. And then eventually, you know, Daniel Bryan just passed out, which that's the one thing, you know, Steven, I want to hear your opinion on this. And Juan said it too. This is just to probably protect Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
But to me, in a match of this magnitude, Roman always, and we see it a lot, whether it's Bobby Lashley against Drew McIntyre, whatever, we see the person just pass out and the ref rings the bell. Nobody raises the arm 3 times anymore. You know, it's just, oh, he's not moving. Ding, ding, ding. Within, you know, 10 seconds.
That bothers me.
It's like, let the guy either physically say, I quit, tap, or pin him 1, 2, 3. Daniel Bryan, he could have been put in the, you know, the guillotine or guillotine, whatever you want to call it. He could have been put in that. And then maybe he doesn't tap. And, you know, maybe Roman throws him, you know, into the rope, spears him, and then pins him 1, 2, 3. At least it's a clear win because Bryan could say, oh, I never tapped, I never submitted, I'm
So
still
then,
here on SmackDown. And it's
exactly.
like, oh, what was the whole point of this then?
And Paul, like, this is the phase when, like, when you and me are like falling asleep with Monday Night Raw. And he's like, oh yeah, but he's like, hey, come on. He's like, don't fall asleep yet. He's like an hour and a half yet. Don't be falling asleep. Who says that you gotta go to sleep? You gotta do
they're
a
like,
review.
don't you have a review to do?
Yeah, don't you
like,
go? Yeah, that's how we feel. But like you said, going back to the story, yeah, like going back to what you're saying, they need to go back to that old school mentality, or at least that's old school practices that they did in the past. Is like you said, the arm, because that also signified the big comeback. Remember, if at least you got like, remember the hand is about, or the arm is about to fall, and then you like go and you shake the arm like oh.
No, I mean, now that really got over when there's crowd, but you can still do it now.
Yeah,
there's no difference. But
yes,
I don't know. I don't like this quick.
But we got to see this. That was the end. Yes.
Yeah, and then it's again. I would have liked to see a more clear victory, especially with the whole stipulation if he loses. Which I guess, a loss is a loss. If the ref says he loses, he loses, he's at a SmackDown. And then, but, it wasn't over because Roman Reigns starts beating him down after this, really saying like, screw you, Bryan, get out of here. And we see Cesaro, the clear, I would say now #1 babyface on this show, maybe even #1 contender for Roman. He comes in, starts beating him up. Then we see Jey Uso and everything, but at least we got all of this after the match. This wasn't during the match. It didn't, cause a big, just screw job, whatever you want to call it. It was fine to do this after the match. And, what we complain about in AEW, every match ends in a brawl. This is one that, it gets the pass because, of everything going on.
Yeah. And also like, it is you're like passing the feud from one person to the other, because he comes out, he has those uppercuts that are really, really good. Then Jay came out, then super kick and all that, and he hung him up in the ropes, and then he did concerto. So maybe is that a signal to Edge? He might not be quite there yet, but like that might be something that it could be done right there. But also like, let's hear from Steven, and Steven says, yeah, have Daniel try to fight out, and he's of the choke vigorously at first, but slowly passed out. And yes, they need the rep to rise the arm. They rise the arm 3 times and call for the bell. Like do the old school practice. So that's why the one thing, that's what they should do.
Because then if the guy doesn't say like I quit or tap, but you raise the arm 3 times, then it's fine for the ref to stop it, in my opinion. But when he just goes, hey, are you good? Are you good? No, ring the bell. No.
Yeah, no. And it takes away from like the sport vibe, because like, for example, if you go like 3 times, you can clearly see the guy's out. Instead of like,
yeah, because if you're in a choke and somebody's choking you, what are you going to say? Like, oh yeah, I'm good, man.
No,
no,
you're not Mick. No, you're not that. Exactly. So like, keep those old school practices like in the past, because again, that give you that it is a real fight. The guy's like, oh, he really choked him out, and instead of like, oh. Like remember Theo Man yesterday. At least they made it like with the crossface and oh my god!
At least that was presented more legit. Like he stopped it because there was a big snap. Oh, was it his shoulder? Was it his neck? I don't know. Let's ring the bell. He even threw up the X. So that at least was something different.
Exactly. For example, like you think about all of that psychology to keep the viewer in that loop. Oh, is it real? Or what I mean? It's like, oh, maybe they did have it like he suffered an injury or anything like that. But in the end, like you said, the big picture right here is like the next, clearly you see the path of rivalries right here, right? You see Daniel Bryan on the floor completely laid out. And now you see Cesaro looking right at Roman. And both,
And at Backlash too, like you said, this is the next feud, the next big feud. But I still think we might see Rollins in there. Maybe Jay helps Rollins beat Cesaro. And then, they can spin the narrative that Roman is scared of Cesaro. That's why he didn't give him the match. That's why he challenged Bryan instead. That's why he had Jey Uso win or help Rollins beat Cesaro. So Rollins could be the new #1 contender or something like that. You could really sell this and elongate this feud and make it feel special instead of just giving me Cesaro at Backlash or something. And also, where's Edge? Edge has to figure into this somewhere.
Yeah, just because let me tell you something about that, and then let me just tell you about Steven. Steven said, regardless, next week's SmackDown, Chris Jericho, Christian, Dustin Rhodes, Big Show, and Jim Ross now work for AEW, so they won't show up. So yeah, like it's like you pretty much have Mysterio. That's the only guy that like from Kurt Angle maybe, but Kurt Angle is not on contract with WWE anymore. But those are the guys, remember, from the legit days, like you said, Fifth, Undertaker, Benoit. No, you can't have Benoit anymore. But like all those guys that like made SmackDown like really, really great.
Oh, JBL will probably show up. Yeah.
Yeah, JBL. Of course, like he's always like a phone call away.
I mean, they should do something with Cena. Cena should even do something. That would be legit.
Come out as Doctor. Doctor will be badass. Like, doo. Oh yeah, you have Milli Vanilli will come out too.
Oh yeah.
Are you gonna come out? Are you gonna show up? Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Are you gonna sing "Girl You Know It's True"? Despite you never did, that's fine. You're gonna do it. So yeah, like we'll see what happens on that. But I'm thinking, because remember the main event, the Backlash, it's gonna be the triple threat. How about if you have let's say Bryan is not really banned from SmackDown. It could be Edge, Bryan, and Cesaro against Jay, Roman, and then you get Rollins in it. If they want to do that, that would be crap. But I mean, no.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That sounds like AEW, so I won't comment on that. I'm not going to say, but
no, call me.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know,
Khan? Maybe
because I feel like if you do that match, the only way to end it is Edge just turns on the other two baby faces and walks out. Because you got to think he'd be still pissed at Bryan.
Yeah.
For everything going on. He's not going to be like, so, we're good now. No, I mean, if anything, I'd rather just see Cesaro and Edge have a feud or something. But I mean, hey, maybe they're going to keep Edge off TV for a while until, maybe, I don't know what the
Money
future
in the
is.
Bank.
Yeah.
Money in the Bank. That will be the next one. So I think that's what they will do. So like Steven, like we would like your thoughts about what are they going to do also like for Backlash. But I don't want to see Cesaro and Roman right away. Like you said, keep building it. Like the feud needs to be for like SummerSlam. That's a big match. It's gonna be crowd. That's when you gotta end it. But in the end, this is what we have. This is like the picture that leaves us this show. And Daniel Bryan is banned from SmackDown. Paul, like before we go over the air, what is like you think that the right move for Daniel Bryan? Should he go to like be like a Jericho, work with like a few guys on AEW? You know what I mean? Have like maybe New Japan, a few matches, like kind of go explore outside of like the WWE banner, and then just do that. Maybe come back and then be like, okay, I'm done.
I mean, what kind of matches are like? Not what kind of matches?
Excuse me. NXT.
What? Who would he? I know I don't know all in New Japan. Maybe a light heavyweight championship or something, but I can't think of a match that he would do over there. Like what would be something, but I mean, I don't know if any. I did see a report. I don't know who it is. WWE, you probably know. WWE is supposedly trying to work with another company.
With MLW.
Okay.
MLW.
I mean,
they told me a little bit that they're going to be exchanging, supposedly, as of the report, again, sending some NXT guys to MLW.
One I would love to see
TV time
would be, now, of course, they're with AEW, so this, won't work too good, but I would love to see NWA and WWE. Yeah. That would be cool because then you could have Daniel Bryan versus Nick Aldis. That match would be badass. That match would sell because both guys are like the old school, the way they work and everything. So that would be really good. But, MLW, maybe he goes over there and like wrestles a match or something because that would be a big name. Like, oh, here's Daniel Bryan. And then you try to get some of the MLW fans.
Yes. Or if he goes to NXT, he has Adam Cole because they have the rematch. Remember a few years ago when they have that match on SmackDown? There you go. You have the story right there. He said, we want to fight with Kyle O'Reilly.
But I would say I don't see him going really to another company like I don't see him leaving WWE, anything like that. And also, with Vince, with maybe what he saw with Jericho, goes, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I'm not going to do this again. Shane. Yeah, Shane and Steph on you. No, I don't think he's going to do something like that. So I could see Bryan. And also, they said you're not allowed to wrestle on SmackDown anymore. Maybe he just becomes Cesaro's manager for a little bit.
Yeah, until like a little bit of time passes by, and then one more time.
Because like we said, he's still writing some of the storylines and helping things along on SmackDown.
He's one of the executive producers.
So if he goes and wrestles in MLW or New Japan or NXT, you're going to also be not losing a wrestler, but you're going to be losing a writer and a producer for your show. So that's also not good because SmackDown, also, like we say, SmackDown's not perfect, but it's at least better than Raw. So if you take Daniel Bryan away, I'm sure it'll get worse.
And there's been many reports that they said that Edge is doing has the same role as Daniel Bryan. But at least Daniel Bryan has been more active, like in the headset, like being right next to Vince and all of that. He's like, hey, you book a shitty show, right? He's like, so I know, my bad. So my Edge is just like, oh, he's like not really focused on learning all the ins and outs of what it is to produce TV, like wrestling TV and all of that. So we'll see what happens. But like a lot of reports yet, we'll see where Daniel Bryan goes. So that will be interesting for next week. It's going to be SmackDown Old School. So this is the review for SmackDown family. Thank you so very much for being with us. Don't forget, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Also, we put content every single day. And also, give the video a like. Also, try to let us keep growing. We want to get to that 1,000. We're right this close. So please help us out. So where else, Paul, can they find us?
And then make sure you follow us, Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
Thank you, Steven. Thank you for every single one of you for watching. We love you, and we will be back for Monday Night Raw review. You and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...